Welcome back. My name is Alex with another weekly portfolio and market update video. In this channel, we document the growth of a $100,000 account I've created for my newborn son. We're growing the account using technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and some news. And in these videos, we go over all the moves that happen in the portfolio and what we're thinking about doing going into the future. If that's what you're into, stick around. All right, so with every video, we like to start it off with some news. And yeah, we had a lot of news today going into the end of the week. I mean, today we got the news that U.S. is going to set to impose a 93% tariff on battery material coming from China. And yeah, we were positioned for this. Like, basically, that means lithium prices are probably going to go up a lot. On other news, like we're starting to get tweets from the White House that are a little funny, making it rain dollars. We're at all-time highs. Trump seems to be pretty invincible here. And yeah, market keeps going up. So that's just a sentiment indicator there. Things are getting a little frothy if the White House is tweeting that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, on the trade negotiation front, Trump put a 50% tariff on Brazil, and now the Brazilian leaders all calling him a gringo. Things are heating up over there with the Brazilian trade negotiations. And then lastly, Trump, I think, got diagnosed with some vein issues after reporting some swollen legs. So, yeah, hopefully everything works out there. But yeah, so that's basically everything on the news front. Let's go check out the market monitor and see what's going on going into next week. All right, so for those of you who are new to the channel, the market monitor is essentially a collection of data I've taken over time. It tracks whether stocks are in uptrends, downtrends, sideways, and a lot of internal metrics that help me in my investing process to grow this $100,000 account. And if you guys have any questions or are curious about how the market monitor works, I pinned a link in the description explaining every column. So feel free to go check that out. So as you guys can see here, we are market monitor yellow and we are day 5 yellow. And we've moved about 0.4% in this cycle. An average yellow cycle is about 8.8 days, and it goes negative 0.35%. And we currently have a distribution count of 5, so one more distribution day is going to push us into the next cycle, which is market monitor red. Okay, so moving onwards to some breadth indicators, the stage analysis here. As you can see here, 13% of stocks are in stage 1, 56% of stocks are in stage 2, 10% of stocks are in stage 3, and 21% of stocks are in stage 4. And what's interesting about this stage analysis reading is that even though the markets are hitting all-time highs, the breadth is actually moving negative here. Number of stocks in stage 2 are below their 16-period average, which is that average 16 you see here. And the stocks that are in downtrends or in bearish stages are actually moving up. So, breadth is moving negative and the market's moving higher. So that's something very interesting to note. All right, moving onwards to the VIX. Yeah, I mean, with an awesome day today, the VIX moved down, which is what we like to see after the VIX day yesterday, which is pretty interesting. The correlation is down back at 12, which is pretty low as well, signaling a bullish market. 64 stocks have moved 20% or more in 5 days. And it's just been, getting hammered, this thing. A lot of stocks are moving big. 106 higher highs, and 495 stocks ending at the high of the day, which is bullish all around. So moving on to some overbought readings is number of stocks above their 45-day Bollinger Bands is back up to 184 after dipping a little bit. And then we had some, another day of 36 and 5% moves over $100 million volume. And then what's really interesting here, as you can see in the stage analysis and you can see here in the short-term momentum down, STMD reading, is it's actually been in a downtrend. So a lot of stocks are actually going down right now that aren't in the leadership group. So very interesting. And then the TD sell is totally gone down from a high of 865. And then the TD buy is actually picking up. So we're starting some bearish, underpinnings of this market. And yeah, we're just going to monitor it because the market keeps going higher, even though all these bearish readings are happening. So yeah, anxiety index has, matching the stage analysis is at 23K. So it's highlighting the bearish action underneath. And then the 63P, which is basically stage 2 plus stage 1, is at 70%, off a high of 80. you know, the overbought reading over there. And then what's really interesting is that the long-term breadth is hovering around 18 for the New York Stock Exchange, even though like we're getting all these big moves and we're at all-time highs. So that could be interesting for a continuation of this uptrend. You know, if we get one more pullback that we're all waiting for, and that will move some more stocks into stage one, and then we can get a nice nice rally. I think this pullback that we're gonna have is gonna be a little bit more severe now that we've been going up so much, because everybody's looking to buy the dip, even though I think they've just been chasing this entire time. So with that, let's go check out the portfolio and see how we're doing, see how we're managing through this. All right, so for those of you who have made it this far in the video, I just want to thank you guys so much. Yeah, we're growing the account slowly, and that's the way we like it. We appreciate that you're here. Hey, if you guys like what you're seeing so far, feel free to smash that like button down below. We'd really appreciate that. And if you guys have a comment or any kind of questions along the way, feel free to leave a comment down below. So as you can see here, the account is sitting at 111,799, and yeah, we had a pretty nice day today, up 0.65%. And as you can see down below, we are outperforming the S&P pretty nicely here. It says about 8%, but I think what's going on here, this website's a little interesting, so I think I gotta change the website because I'm doing a lot of options, and basically I think it's the calculation's a little strange. But hey, we're outperforming the index nicely, and everything's moving in the right direction. So yeah, I thought I would just go here, and typically this is I used to do this, you know, 3 times a week, and now we're just doing the weekly updates. So I'd like to show you guys, you know, the weekly moves of what's been moving the account, and you know, that can tell us something about where the money's flowing, because this is a pretty diversified portfolio. And something interesting that's happening this week is that you know, this portfolio is pretty much a bond portfolio. It's like a 60-40 bond portfolio with some options, right? So the target allocation is about 38% bonds slash, you know, market correlated yielding stuff, and you know, about 53% stocks, and about 4 to 5% options like leaps, and then 4% cash. And sometimes in that cash allocation, I'll be buying puts, or I'll be buying tail risk stuff. So what I did today was I got long some VIX options in this account. You know, what I would like to do is like do a collar, or you know, something along those lines, but we're gonna have to just do the tail risk the other way with the VIX. So yeah, I mean, the account is yielding pretty nice. It's a 5% yield. That's the target yield on every level. But as you can see here, our weekly performance is pretty decent. We're up 1.44% on the week, and we like that. And yeah, so if you look here, our you know, before we get into all the stocks and the moves and stuff like that, I just like to show you guys the passive income diversification here. So you know, I told you guys that we try to have some income in this account, but just to let you guys know and show you like how diversified our income stream is. Just thought I'd show you this picture here. Like a lot of our yield is coming from this Bitcoin and Zim and the volatility and some of these other assets like the long-term bonds and stuff like that. But it's mainly pretty diversified. So with that, let's get into the 7-day performance of the account and all the positions. And so the thing I like about this picture is it not only shows the performance, but it shows the size in the account. You know, the bigger squares are bigger positions, and the smaller squares are smaller positions. And as you can see here, we're up like 1.4% on the week, but most of the stuff in the account is actually red. So that's pretty interesting there, because I mean, a lot of the stuff that's mid-size in the account is up, you know, double digits, like 22% for some of these nuclear stocks, and then Warner Brothers is finally starting to catch up. And then a lot of these stocks, I have calls sold on them. So you know, I've been saying that a long time for a while in this account, is that some of these positions, you know, we have calls sold on them, and yeah, even if they go down, like this array is down 11% this week, but we had calls sold on them, so it's not that big of a hit because the implied volatility in that stock is pretty high. Yeah, so I mean, what I'm noticing here is, you know, we did get PLL. We got PLL starting to do really well. It was up a lot last week. But we're catching some nice themes here, and we're having some nice moves um, in like the baton passing basically. Some things go down the previous week, and then a lot of things pump the next week. And then once you rebalance it, it gets everything back into balance, and then the yield just keeps coming in from the yielding assets. So it's working pretty well. We're continuing to outperform, and we really do like the way the account is moving thus far. So yeah, so with that, I would like to do for the rest of the video is do some technical analysis and show you guys what's going on there on some stocks of interest and some interesting things that are happening in the account. All right, so what you're looking at here is ticker symbol VXX. This is the iPath series, short-term VIX futures ETF. And just thought I'd show you guys this because we basically, after what happened in April, where this thing went up a lot, it's come back down, to kind of where the scene of the crime is at this initial up wave. And I could show you guys here, where this initial up wave started, essentially, and I could go like that, something like around there. So, if we're moving it back, yeah, something around here. So this area is a really pivotal area of interest, where it seems like, this spike happened. It's kind of found support here, and it's spiked again. And perhaps, I mean, every time it comes here, you can make the bet that it's going to spike a little bit more. That would be normal and natural. Or this thing breaks down and then starts to continue its downtrend to start a new uptrend like it's been in the past. But every time the VIX gets down here to this level, it's a nice risk reward to just take that bet. You don't have to bet too much, and so that's what we're doing. We're taking, because if these things pay off, like if this thing explodes like this and a real tail event does happen, the research says that if you're buying, let's say, like 30 or to 10 delta options on this thing, they go up by 10 to 20x. So yeah, it's a minimal amount of input, for some protection that could 10 to 20x. So basically, if you put like 0.3% of the account, you're going to make 3 to 6% if the event does happen. So we are diversified. So basically, what that means is, like, if the market corrects, we're diversified with uncorrelated stuff, so we're not going to go down as much as the market. And correlations do increase as the market goes down, but what really gets diversified accounts is whenever the correlation goes to 1 and everything starts going down. So you have to buy some tail risk, essentially, protection. And tail risk is cheap at the moment, so or insurance is pretty cheap. So at every moment you basically just throw like 2.2 ish to 0.8 into these things, and if they hit, and if they don't, you don't lose too much. That's what we've been doing a lot. Just thought I'd share that with you guys here. The other thing I wanted to talk about in this video is the lithium trade that I outlined in a previous video is finally starting to heat up. Yeah, we said that right after these copper, where is it? We're not seeing it here, but yeah, the copper futures are like exploding. And so that's the catalyst, and you just put 2 and 2 together that basically this guy is going to probably tariff all these commodities, and anyone who makes this stuff in America they're just going to have a large advantage over people who don't. So Lithium of America, PLL, and specifically, I think a lot of the supply comes out of China. So this Albemarle is in southern hemisphere, and that's doing nicely too. And it's been in a nice downtrend here. So you're getting in super cheap. I didn't get it in the public account. I got it in my own account. I think in the public account I'm in PLL, and we sold the $9 calls on PLL. Yeah, we got in around. Dude, we bought the top of this candle, but that's fine. It's all good. Yeah, it's making a nice move up 25% here. So Yeah, that's about it. The other trade I would like to highlight is essentially this battery, so which is basically the same theme. It's lithium batteries, ENVX and QS. Those are battery stocks, doing really well. And maybe some Chinese, or what's this, Dacao? This is another clean energy thing, actually, but it's from China, but it's doing really nicely here. So I think that theme is going to be here to stay. I think the drone theme as well is going to be here to stay. And yeah, so with that, that is the weekly portfolio update. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and feel free to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment if you guys have any questions. Thanks, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.